Hashtag Young Gang. Got her. All right. Well, hi, honey.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm all right.
All right. Well, are you ready to learn more about the Bible?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the Daily Bible.
Yes.
All right. So last time, in case you guys were unaware, we finished up Daniel. We have no more of Daniel. It's a relatively short book, but we finished it up with an angelic prophecy about the Messiah. So if y'all missed that, y'all need to go back and check it out. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, so now we're going to supposedly the 520s BCE, but we really know it's not, probably. Anyways, so this begins the reign of Xerxes, and when Xerxes begins his reign, some Karen wrote a letter to him complaining about the Jews in Judah and Jerusalem, because, you know, that's what Karens do. They just complain about everybody.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So this Karen told the king that Jerusalem is being rebuilt, but they're rebellious and they're building up walls. And this Karen goes on to say that if Jerusalem is rebuilt, then they're going to stop paying taxes to you. And I mean, he clutched his pearls at this. Xerxes did. It was like, what? My taxes? I got to get my taxes. And then, you know, if people don't pay intermittently throughout the year, he gets pissed off and he penalizes them.
Yeah, you've got to pay your estimated taxes.
Yeah, if you don't, you'll get fucked up big time. Anyways, so Xerxes turned around to his enforcers, you know, mafia dudes and everything like that, that always stand behind him all the time. He said to his enforcers that they needed to get the Jews to stop working and working to rebuild both the temple and rebuilding Jerusalem's walls and shit, because, you know, got to get that money. So then a couple of Jewish prophets piped up and told Xerxes that God is with them, so go fuck yourself. Stick it right up your ass there, Xerxes. And then the governor of the area asked the Jews who told them to keep building this shit, you know? Like, who has the right to tell you to build all this stuff up? And then they told off Darius. I don't know if Darius is like the governor or
King.
Whoever.
He's a king.
Whatever. Anyways, the prophets then just turned around to Darius and said that God told them to tell him to go fuck himself.
Oh.
Yeah, and fuck the horse you rode in on. Okay, buddy?
What'd the horse do?
I don't know, but Darius was totally convinced by this argument. It's like, oh shit, God? Oh fuck. And because he was convinced by God, apparently that at least that excuse of God, he gave them unlimited support to rebuild the temple and Jerusalem.
No.
And it's like, hey, nobody fuck with these people. They're rebuilding shit over here. God said so. So go fuck yourselves. I'm wondering if today's podcast is going to, I should probably bleep some of this out just so that people are appeased. Anyways, then Darius goes a little bit further and says anyone that interferes with this building shit is going to get impaled, and I'll blow up your house. So don't fuck with them.
Seems excessive.
Yeah, but anyways, that's going to be it for the Bible study today. I hope you guys learned something.
I mean, we're going to...
I hit the highlight. I mean, I think I did pretty good with, you know, staying true to the text. That's exactly what it says, word for word.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's exactly what it says, word for word.
What?
No, I'm pretty sure it says other shit.
What are you talking about?
I mean...
You saying I got something wrong?
I'm saying that your version is, you know, just a little more colorful than the actual words.
Is it?
Yeah, so we're going to go over what the actual Bible says.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we have to.
Yeah, we should probably should.
What's up, heathens?
How y'all doing?
All right, so we're going to be going over...
Yes, Ezra 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it good enough.
Well, we're just, you know what we're doing here, John? We're proving to all the people who say, well, you're atheist, you haven't read the Bible, how stupid that actually is. So we're going to have an entire series that they can go watch proving on YouTube that we read the Bible.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we actually have to read it.
You mean my poorly contrived initial summary of the Bible study is not indicative of the Bible?
I mean, it's entertaining.
I mean, it is. Yeah. I mean, it's better than actually reading the Bible, but you know.
It is. I agree it is. But we're gonna do it the long way just to be sure.
Okay. If we have to.
All right. So in time, we're in the 520s BCE, right?
Okay.
And during this time, Xerxes was in power. But it's interesting because there are actually two Persian leaders. This one is not to be confused with Xerxes, who was a later Persian ruler, but I think this person is historically referred to as Artaxerxes based on some letters that went back and forth here at the time. Okay.
Now, just so that everybody knows, Artaxerxes is just more artistic than the original Xerxes. He loved to paint a lot like Hitler.
The other Xerxes is actually later in time.
Oh, is it? So actually, Xerxes is less creative.
That's what you said the first time. Xerxes is the later ruler. Artaxerxes is the early ruler.
Okay, so I was right. Got it.
You just said the original. Okay. This is the original. It's just not the one that's referred to as that. When people talk about Xerxes in history, this is not the same person.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't know why we need to, but I guess that one is like 60 years later, or the better known one is Artaxerxes. I'm not really sure. One is Artaxerxes, the other one is Xerxes. I feel like because they have different names, there really wasn't a reason to even bring this up.
Right.
But here we are. Okay, so Xerxes, if you want to know and are interested, in Hebrew, it's Ahasuerus.
Is that a Horcrux?
Ahasuerus. No, I think it's some kind of dinosaur.
Is it? I mean, I feel like it's a dinosaur, but it's a Horcrux for maybe the Messiah or something.
I don't know, but here we are. Anyway, so at the beginning of the reign of Xerxes, and this is in like I said, the 520s time frame, there was a complaint lodged against the people of Judah and Jerusalem.
Damn those Karens.
Yes.
Sorry.
And in the days of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Bishlam, Mithredath, and Tabeel, and the rest of his associates wrote a letter to Artaxerxes. The letter was written in Aramaic script and in the Aramaic language.
Wait a second. What? Bishlam?
Bishlam. Bitch. Did I say bitch?
No, you didn't. But,
Bishlam.
But I don't know. When you said it, I was just like, what the fuck? Bishlam?
Bishlam, Mithredath, and Tabeel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the most entertaining part of this is the names. So anyway, they wrote a letter, and Rehum, the commanding officer, and Shimshai, the secretary, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes, the king, as follows. Rehum, the commanding officer, and Shimshai, the secretary, together with the rest of their associates, the judges, officials, and administrators of the people of Persia, Uruk, and Babylon, the Elamites of Susa, and other people whom the great and honorable Ashurbanipal, whatever, deported and settled in the city of Samaria and elsewhere in Trans-Euphrates. Okay, this is a copy of the letter they sent him to King Artaxerxes. From your servants in Trans-Euphrates, the king should know that the people who came up to us from you have gone to Jerusalem and are rebuilding that rebellious and wicked city. They are restoring the walls and repairing the foundations. Furthermore, the king should know that if this city is built and the walls are restored, no more taxes, tribute, or duty will be paid, and eventually the royal revenues will suffer. Now, since we are under obligation to the palace and it is not proper for us to see the king dishonored, we are sending this message to inform the king so that a search may be made in the archives of your predecessors. In these records, you will find that this city is a rebellious city, troublesome to kings and provinces, a place with a long history of sedition. That is why this city was destroyed. We inform the king that if this city is built and its walls are restored, you will be left with nothing in Trans-Euphrates. So basically, these are the people who before, because we started Ezra before, and then had a vision from Daniel, and now we're back in Ezra. When we were in Ezra before, there were the people who came along, and remember they wanted to help, but then they were told they couldn't help, so then they tried to hinder the progress.
Yeah.
That's these people, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, so the king got the letter and sent this reply. To Rehum, the commanding officer, Shimshai, the secretary, and the rest of their associates living in Samaria and elsewhere in Trans-Euphrates. Greetings. The letter you sent has been read and translated in my presence. I issued an order and a search was made, and it was found that this city has a long history of revolt against kings and has been a place of rebellion and sedition. Jerusalem has had powerful kings ruling over the whole Trans-Euphrates, and taxes, tribute, and duty were paid to them. Now, issue an order to these men to stop work so that this city will not be rebuilt until I so order. Be careful not to neglect this matter. Why let this threat grow to the detriment of the royal interests? Meaning money. They won't get money from the area because they would set up their own, leaders, to which all of the taxes, duties, and all of that would be paid.
Okay.
So as soon as the copy of the letter of King Artaxerxes was read to Rehum and Shimshai, the secretary, and their associates, they went immediately to the Jews in Jerusalem and compelled them by force to stop. Thus, the work on the house of God in Jerusalem came to a standstill until the second year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
Okay. So this is after Artaxerxes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they were successful in forcing them to stop.
Yes.
And then in the reign of Darius. Okay, got it.
Okay. So Cyrus said, go build the temple. They started building the temple. Then there was another ruler, Artaxerxes, and Xerxes. I don't know, because I don't know a lot about the actual history in this time, like real history at the time. I'm not sure. They just don't want you to get him confused. But the guy who reigned at this time, he told them to stop, and then we're going to have Darius come on. So,
I mean, this has got to give the Jews a bit of whiplash. It's like, come on, we were in the middle of this. It's like, nope, I'm telling you to stop. But the other guy told us to start.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure at what year it actually happened where they were told to stop, but later in the 520s BCE, so 522 to 521 timeframe, right? Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the prophet, Zechariah is a descendant of Edo, they prophesied to the Jews in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of the God of Israel who was over them. And Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, son of Josadak, set to work to rebuild the house of God in Jerusalem, and the prophets of God were with them, supporting them. So the prophets told them to restart.
Right.
Not Darius yet. Okay.
True.
Yeah. So at that time, the governor of Trans-Euphrates was Tattenai. Okay. So Shethar Bozenai. Yeah. Tattenai and Shethar Bozenai and their associates went to the Jews in Jerusalem and asked, who authorized you to rebuild this temple and to finish it? Because from what they understood, the last guy was like, you're not allowed to work on this. Yeah. Okay. They also asked, what are the names of those who are constructing this building? But the eye of their God was watching over the elders of the Jews, and they were not stopped until a report could go to Darius and his written reply be received. So they continued working, right?
Okay.
But there was a letter to Darius, and this is the copy of that letter. You ready? This to Tattenai, governor of Trans-Euphrates, and Shethar Bozenai and their associates, the officials of Trans-Euphrates, sent to King Darius. The report sent to him read as follows: to King Darius. Cordial greetings. The king should know that we went to the district of Judah to the temple of the great God, and the people are building it with large stones and placing the timbers in the walls. The work is being carried on with diligence and is making rapid progress under their direction. We questioned the elders and asked them, who authorized you to rebuild this temple and to finish it? We also asked them their names so that we could write down the names of their leaders for your information. This is the answer they gave us. We are the servants of the God of heaven and earth, and we are rebuilding the temple that was built many years ago, one that a great king of Israel built and finished. But because our ancestors angered the God of heaven, he gave them into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar the Chaldean, king of Babylon, who destroyed this temple and deported the people to Babylon. However, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Babylon, King Cyrus issued a decree to rebuild this house of God. He even removed from the temple of Babylon the gold and silver articles from the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar had taken from the temple in Jerusalem and brought to the temple in Babylon. Then King Cyrus gave them to a man named Sheshbazzar, whom he had appointed governor, and he told him, take these articles and go deposit them in the temple in Jerusalem and rebuild the house of God on its site. So this Sheshbazzar came and laid the foundations of the house of God in Jerusalem. From that day to the present, it has been under construction, but is not yet finished. Now, if it pleases the king, let a search be made in the royal archives of Babylon to see if King Cyrus did in fact issue a decree to rebuild this house of God in Jerusalem. Then let the king send us his decision on the matter. So, you ready for the king's decision? This is the start of Ezra 6. Okay. King Darius then issued an order, and they searched the archives stored in the treasury at Babylon. A scroll was found in the citadel of Ecbatana in the province of Media, and this was written on it. Memorandum. In the first year of King Cyrus, the king issued a decree concerning the temple of God in Jerusalem. Let the temple be rebuilt as a place to present sacrifices, and let its foundations be laid. It is to be 60 cubits high and 60 cubits wide, with 3 courses of large stones and one of timbers. The costs are to be paid by the royal treasury. Also, the gold and silver articles from the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar took from the temple in Jerusalem and brought to Babylon, are to be returned to their places in the temple in Jerusalem. They are to be deposited in the house of God. Now then, Tattenai, governor of Trans-Euphrates, and Shethar-Bozenai, and the other officials of that province stay away from there. So he's telling them, don't go there. Stay away. Do not interfere with the work on this temple of God. Let the governor of the Jews and the Jewish elders rebuild this house of God on its site. Moreover, I hereby decree that you are to do for these elders of the Jews in construction of this house of God. Their expenses are to be fully paid out of the royal treasury from the revenues of Trans-Euphrates, so that the work will not stop. Whatever is needed, young bulls, rams, male lambs for burnt offerings to the God of heaven, and wheat, salt, wine, and olive oil, as requested by the priests in Jerusalem, must be given them daily without fail, so that they may offer sacrifices pleasing the God of heaven and pray for the well-being of the king and his sons. Furthermore, I decree that if anyone defies this edict, a beam is to be pulled from their house and they are to be impaled on it. And for this crime, their house is to be made a pile of rubble.
Wow. He's going to firebomb their house.
After he impales them.
Yeah.
With a piece of their house.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
May God, who has caused his name to dwell there, overthrow any king or people who lifts a hand to change this decree or destroy the temple in Jerusalem. I, Darius, have decreed it. Let it be carried out with diligence. Then, because of the decree, King Darius had set Tattenai, governor of Trans-Euphrates, and Shethar-Bozenai, and their associates carried it out with diligence.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, I know. It was kind of short today.
Okay.
But next time, we're going to talk a little bit more. I know we brought them up here, the prophets that we talked about, Haggai and Zechariah. We're going to talk more about them next time.
Okay.
And we're going to talk a little bit about their preaching. And this is actually the book of Haggai.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so there's a book of Haggai and then there's a book of Zechariah.
Well, we're also going to have some Zechariah. Not Zechariah, Zechariah.
Well, sorry, I meant Zechariah.
Yeah, so we're going to have both of those, some Haggai and some Zechariah next week.
Yeah, and I want to say that there's some messianic stuff, messianic, however you pronounce it, stuff in it. Just stuff talking about the Messiah.
Well, we're going to talk some about the priorities and what they're supposed to be doing. We're going to talk about the temple's future glory, lessons they've learned from the forefathers. There's going to be some hypothetical questions and we're going to talk about how they prosper from their commitment that they make to this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also going to be a special prophecy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that we're going to be covering some Messiah stuff next week. I just meant that in both of those books, there's Messiah stuff in them.
Well, we're going to go through each of those books. It's just we're basically getting the very beginnings of both of those. Well, not the very beginnings. Like of Zechariah, we're not starting in the very beginning, but we're going to be introduced to the preaching of Haggai and Zechariah. The week following after that, we're going to talk about Zechariah's visions. So We'll probably hit some of that there.
Yeah. So apparently in Haggai chapter 2, there's some Messiah stuff, and then all throughout Zechariah is their Messiah stuff. So, well,
we are going to do Haggai 2 next week.
Okay, cool. There's not much, but there's a little bit.
Okay.
All right, heathens. Well, let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought about today's Bible study. Just give us your thoughts down there. While you're down there, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like atheist Bible studies like this.
And as always, don't forget to stand up and use your voice.
Bye, heathens.
Bye, y'all.